Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Fatma Yurika and I'm from English Education Class B, State University of Makassar. In this video, I'd like to explain or resume about the present and informed approach from a book that I've read, which is Teaching by Principles, an Interactive Approach to Language Pedagogy by H. Douglas Brown. But in this video, we are just gonna focus on chapter 3. So in this chapter, there are two main points we are gonna discuss. The first one is an Leiden eclectic approach, and the second one is communicative language teaching. The first one is eclectic approach. So what exactly eclectic approach? Eclectic approach is a method of language education that combines various approaches and methodologies to teach language depending on the aims of the lesson and the abilities of the learners. It is believed that different teaching methods are borrowed and adapted to suit the requirement of the learners. The second one, there is communicative language teaching. So communicative language teaching, or CLT, or we know as communicative approach, is an approach to language teaching that emphasizes interaction as both the means and the ultimate goal of study. According to CLT, the goal of language education is the ability to communicate in the target language. As you can see in the PPT, there are 6 interconnected characteristics as a description of CLT. The first one, there is classroom goals are focused on all of the components. It could be grammatical, discourse, functional, sociolinguistic, and strategic of communicative competence. And the goals, therefore, must intertwine the organizational aspects of language with the pragmatic. The second one, language techniques are designed to engage learners in the pragmatic. It could be also authentic, functional use of language for meaningful purposes. Organizational language forms are not the central focus, but rather aspects of language that enable the learners to accomplish those purposes. The third one is fluency and accuracy. These are seen as complementary principles underlying communicative techniques. At times, fluency may have to take on more importance and accuracy in order to keep learners meaningfully engaged in language use. The fourth one is students in a communicative class ultimately have to use the language. They have to use it productively and perceptively in unrehearsed contexts outside the classroom. Classroom tasks must therefore equip students with the skills necessary for communication in those contexts. The fourth one, there is students are given opportunities to focus on their own learning process through an understanding of their own style of learning and through the development of appropriate strategies for autonomous learning. The last one, there is that the role of the teacher is that of facilitator and guide, not an all-knowing base-over of knowledge. And students are therefore encouraged to construct meaning through genuine linguistic interaction with others. In communicative language teaching itself, there are 6 points we are gonna talk further. The first one is learner-centered instruction. The second one is cooperative and collaborative learning. The third one is interactive learning. The fourth one is whole language education. The fifth one is content-based instruction, and the sixth one is task-based instruction. Okay, so the first one is learner-centered instruction. So what is learner-centered instruction? It is a teaching method that focuses on students engaging in hard work, reflecting on your learning process, and learning independently or collaboratively. In the learning-centered instruction, there are 5 techniques that can be included. The first one is techniques that focus on or account for learners' needs, style, and goals. The second one, techniques that give some control to the student. It could be group work or strategy training. The third one is curricula that include the consultation and input of students and that do not propose objectives in advance. The fourth one, techniques that allow for student creativity and innovation. And the last one is techniques that enhance a student's sense of competence and self-worth. Okay, the next is about cooperative and collaborative learning. Cooperative and collaborative learning is a learning situation that involves two or more individuals who are attempting to have a shared educational environment. In this environment, the students are able to learn from each other. Research has shown an advantage of cooperative learning, which promoting intrinsic motivation, heightening self-esteem, creating caring, lowering anxiety, and etc. The next is about interactive learning. Interactive classes will most likely be found, first, doing a significant amount of peer work and group work. Second, receiving authentic language input in real-world context. Third, producing language for genuine, meaningful communication. Fourth, performing classroom tasks that can prepare them for actual language use out there. The fifth, practicing oral communication through the give and take and spontaneity of actual conversations. And the last is writing to and for real audience, not contrived ones. The next about whole language education. So whole language is an approach to learning that sees language as a whole entity. And writing, speaking, reading, and listening should be integrated when learned. In whole language, learning is built upon the real experiences and background knowledge of the learner. Whole language is a label that has been used to describe. First, focus on the social nature of language. Second, use of authentic natural language. Third, meaning-centered language. Fourth, holistic assessment teaching in testing. Fifth, focus on the community of the learners. Sixth, cooperative learning. Seven, participatory learning. 8th, student-centered learning, and 9, integration of the 4 skills. So the next is about content-based instruction. Content-based instruction refers to an approach to second language teaching in which teaching is organized around the content or information that students will acquire rather than around linguistic or other type of syllabus. More specifically, it refers to the concurrent study of language and subject matter. Content-based classroom may yield an increase in intrinsic motivation and empowerment since students are focused on subject matter that is important to their lives. So the last, we are gonna talking about task-based instruction. Task-based instruction characterized by activities that engage language learners in meaningful, goal-oriented communication that to solve problems, complete projects, and reach decision. Task-based instruction put tasks as the center of one's methodological focus. Based on Peter, he defines that task as an activity in which first, meaning in primary. Second, there is some communication problem to solve. Third, there is some sort of relationship to comparable real-world activities. Fourth, task completion has some priority. And the last is the assessment of the task is in terms of outcome. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.